Okay, any topic in stats is kind of intimidating, so it's not something that you can cram a night before the exam or anything for that matter. It's something that you need to be uh, revising continuously. Like for example, if I'm stuck at certain concept in stats, I have to revisit my basics again from the books or from the internet or from YouTube. So again, I like posted a meme about this couple of like in February. Like me, like just when I think that I have understood the stats, I'm again stuck with some different kind of concept and I have to hit my books again. So so far, any questions? Anything? Anything want you share or discuss so that we can, or if we can, like continue with the research paper.
Nikita has left a compliment. This is by far the most amazing presentation. I love how you are breaking down the concepts and keeping the slides very accessible. Thank you for this.
I'm not good at taking that kind of a comment, Nikita, so we'll discuss it later on. Okay. Does everyone have like the research paper that was shared? So we'll be just probably discussing one paper right now, which is on stress, anxiety, depression, and physical illnesses in college students by Harvey Rawson and Kimberly Bloomer and Amanda Kentley. See, it's just a very random paper that I tried from the search from the Google, just to be ordered to explain things. Is it ready with everyone? You all have access to it? Okay. See, I haven't even read the paper myself entirely, so I don't know what the exactly the paper is talking about, but I'm just going to discuss how the methods and results section are there in context of the topics that we discussed today. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll share the screen and then we'll read along. Okay, so if you can see the abstract part, it says that the interrelationships among measures of stress, anxiety, depression, and physical illness in proportional sample of college undergrads. Okay, now your n equals to 184 is your sample size. So if you are taking college undergraduates, right? So college undergraduates can be anyone from, let's say, an Ivy League school in US or like a regular college in India, right? That can be your entire population. But for this particular paper, they have selected 184 people to study or to administer the tests or questionnaires on. So that's your sample. This is based on this 184, you'll administer questionnaires related to stress, anxiety, and physical illness. Uh, you will be using descriptive stats of mean, median, or mode, whatever the paper is using, and then you will, based on these 184, you will draw conclusions or you will make inferences about the entire population of college undergraduates. This is this part here, just the abstract part of it. Yes, no, I cannot see.
People are giving thumbs up.
Okay, now significant correlations were found in the stress illness, anxiety illness, depression illness, anxiety depression relationship. What essentially it means is that whatever hypothesis these researchers made, if you have to probably replicate this study to a different sample of college undergrads, all right, apart from these 184 students on which the test was administered, if you take a different sample for college undergrads, chances are that the similar kind of a result will be found valid for that different sample. That is where we say the results are significant or it is statistically significant. Is this part clear? So giving you a basic idea of how to understand whatever topics that we discussed from research paper.
People are giving thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay, now what we'll do is we'll move to the method section of the paper. Is the method section ready with everyone? Is it visible on screen for you?
Hi,
Yes.
can we identify like in participant sections there
Mhm.
will be variables on the nominal scale, right?
Yeah, that is what I was try. I'll start with that. When we say 184 undergraduates, right, and when we are saying out of these 184, 145 are female, 39 are men. Uh, so you're describing from the participant section, you're describing your sample of these 184 students. So one category is of uh, 145 women, 39 men. Now, proportionally, there were 77 freshmen, which is like first year college students, sophomore, 41 sophomores, second year college students. So these are the four categories across which first year, second year, third year, and fourth year students, across which you're making a category. So again, if you, in other words, if you have to relate with the topics that we studied, it's like a nominal scale that was used to make categories out of these 184 students. Is it clear?
Also, Suvasika has raised her hand.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing the screen and then I can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Tanvi, could you go to the abstract section once again? Like the sentence that followed the last one that you talked about, I did not really understand that.
Okay, I'll just do that. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so which part you were saying?
Partial correlations. So I think the next line, though lowered when first anxiety and then depression were held constant.
Uh, okay, so partial correlation is something like it's a very different topic, different from what we discussed today, but to get an idea of it. So it's saying that there was some kind of a relationship that was visible between stress, illness relationship. So there was like, if it's very, very simple, probably in the coming presentation, you'll be discussing partial correlation, but just to get an idea, it's saying that somewhat a relationship was found between these two, which was significant. I'm with this paper, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it comprehensible in context of the topics that we studied today. So is it okay with you?
All right, thank you.
Okay, so let me like again repeat myself that I haven't read the entire paper myself. I'm just using it for the sake of understanding the topics on inferential descriptive stats, like the basic idea of it, the scales of measurement, central tendency, and variance. That's for the purpose of me using this research paper for. Uh, again, I haven't read the entire paper yet, so I have absolutely no clue what the research or the result or the discussion part is talking about. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, so it's saying that they have used some questionnaires on state, trait, anxiety inventory, and then life experiences survey and health questionnaires and North American depression inventory. So they have used certain questionnaires and inventories or tests to measure attributes on, right? So, for example, if I have to pick one, say North American depression inventory, all right. Uh, this inventory can be used for adults like from people of age 15 to 60. So that is the population on which you can apply this inventory on. Again, they're using a 5 point scale, always to never. It's again with this scale, they're using a combination of ordinal and interval scale because it's ranging from always, which is a 5 point, to never, which is 1 point. Can you like relate with the example we did in the read in the presentation? It's again kind of using a similar kind of scale measurement. So this inventory is probably a combination of what an ordinal and what an interval scale is all about, because this is how are you going to measure it. And the reason why we are able to apply mean and standard deviation to this kind of an inventory is that it's a standardized test, which means that whatever raw score that you're getting out of this questionnaire, You convert it to a standard score. And if you apply this test inventory to a different kind of a sample, chances of replicating, so again, that's why we use reliability and validity, that it can give you uh, what to what level of accuracy the results will be similar. Okay, so we'll scroll down to the table part. So in the statistics, they're like statistic tool, they're using Pearson correlation. Again, it's a very different topic from what we did today. But in the discussion part, what we'll do is we'll switch to table two, just to for sake of understanding what topics we discuss in context of this particular table. So I'm taking this table and as an example to again try to explain the topics that we discussed. Okay, so for freshmen, like the first row, will it be row or will it be a column? I'm sorry, I'm confused between the two. Okay, for the stress part, we had 77 first year students, right? So the sample is 77 for them. We have 41 second year, 30 third year, and 36 senior. So there are again 184 people. Using the test inventories and questionnaires, we calculated the mean. So for 77 people of first year, this is the mean value of stress that they are getting out of those that questionnaire. This is the mean value for second year students, 18.610. It's the mean value for third year students, 12.400. 13.833 for fourth year, and in total this is a mean value. So this is like a nominal scale, all right, in terms of categorizing students in first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. The questionnaire itself was a combination, like the one questionnaire that we saw was a combination of interval and an ordinal scale. That's because of the underlying so-called assumptions behind it. This is how we are able to probably get mean of these different categories, right? Now, if we have to take out of these, for example, if we take one first year student and have this score for their stress level. This is the entire mean for the first year students. But if we, for example, randomly take out of these 77 people, just take one, for example, take me. If I have to measure my stress level, chances are it from this mean value, chances are my stress level will vary by 9.247 units from this mean value. So it can be plus or in minus. It can be more than this mean value or it can be less than this mean value. Was I able to make sense of it? Again, similarly for second year sophomores, uh, chances are this is how an individual value will vary in context of the mean for 41 students. So like this is how you tend to read a descriptive stats. So this is where you are using a descriptive stats for your, that you're defining for each category of people, you're defining what mean is there for that sample size and how it is varying around that central value. This is what a descriptive stats is.
So that we like
Mhm.
we took an example of one score, so we will say that all 41 scores will differ from mean by 9.388 points.
Yeah. So all, it's like saying that on an average, this is how it will vary. Was it was my sentence clear? Like on an average, if you take one student out of this 41, what are the like to what extent it can vary on an average, like on an average of this mean value? Not every student will have 18.610 of stress level, right? So to what extent will it be more or will it be less compared to this mean value? To what extent your distribution is there across this mean? Is it clear or do I try something else?
No, it's clear. Like on average, the student will 9.388 will be the value on an average which will differ from exam
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Super.
41 students.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So individually, each for each group for second year students, this is how. But in total, if you take all 184, on an average, it will vary by 9 units. Is it clear?
Also,
So it's given.
Suvasika has made a comment. We
Yeah.
discussed this also last presentation. We can say 68%, which would be 1 ST, of students will lie between those extremes.
Yeah. So this is what the basic idea of it, because see, I was using this research paper in the sense of trying to make it understandable of how whatever topics that we discussed today is understandable. Maybe what we can do is like later on presentations can continue this forward. We can say 68%, which would be one standard deviation of students will lie between those extremes. Yeah, in the sense like uh, yeah, so like if you are like trying to draw a normal distribution curve, so it's saying that majority of students will lie across this value. All right, so there can be couple of people which can have extremely high stress level or extremely low stress level. All right, but majority of them would lie under this value. This can be another way of putting it across. Is it okay, Swastika? I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Okay.
Yes.
So any like I so this is how for the rest of the values, in the sense that we were also calculate in the research paper, it was also calculating anxiety, stress, and depression. So this is how you're going to make describe your sample using mean, median, mode, and variance. So which basically covers whatever topics that we did today. I know it's very small portion of the research paper that I'm taking up, and there can be further things that can be discussed, but I think for the scope of the topics that I chose for today, this is how it will be. So any questions for these topics around difference between inferential and descriptive stats, uh, mean, median, mode, nominal, ordinal, interval ratio, or standard deviation? Any questions for these parts? Was I able to make sense?
Devanshi is asking, will you be sharing the PPT in Slack?
I can do that, or I can also like tell you the name of the two books that I used for this presentation. What what part would you like of it?
I think it would be great if you could share the references, and if it's okay, we could also upload maybe the PPT on the drive if someone really wants to refer to that later on.
Yeah, I can do that. After, so by tonight, I think. Please remind me if I forget that I have to send the names of the books that I use for this. And basically, these two books that I use for today are the ones that I'm currently also studying for my master's course in stats. So yeah, I'll share the names of these two books. Is it okay?
Okay, that would be great. And so far, there are no questions in the chat. And thank you so much for that amazing presentation. I honestly got much clarity on some of the things even I have wondered. So, yeah, this was great. And if someone has a doubt, just unmute and talk. It's okay.
Or maybe if you're not having doubt as of now, but like maybe later on you can also like message on the Slack, and honestly I'm not that active on Slack, but I'll try to respond. If you're tagging me, I'll try to respond. It might be delay, but I'll try. uh, Anubha, Bharti, Brinda, Devashi, Isha, Nikita, Munna, Pooja, Suhasika, Titli, Irish, any questions? I'm sorry if I
Repeat
pronounce name
one.
incorrectly. Yeah,
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 it
actually.
might not be related to like today's presentation, but I heard in your introduction that you are from Jamia.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can you please tell, like, in entrance test of Jamia, how much portion is of the statistics?
Uh, I can like I'll share. I'll probably have my own question paper of entrance exam. I'll send that to you. Is it okay? Because I
Yes, that
don't.
would be very helpful.
Yeah. So I say that practice previous year questions a lot because my the question paper that I did for entrance was basically a copy paste from our 2020 entrance exam paper.
Okay, so we can get the previous year questions on the